Saint Pantaleon, counted in the West among the late medieval 14 holy helpers and in the East as one of the Holy Unmercenary Healers, was a martyr of Nicomedia in Bithynia during the Diocletian persecution of 305 AD, though there is evidence to suggest that a martyr named Pantaleon existed. Some consider the stories of his life and death to be purely legendary legends. According to the martyrologies, Pantaleon was the son of a rich pagan, Eustogius of Nicomedia, and had been instructed in Christianity by his Christian mother, St. Eubola. However, after her death he fell away from the Christian Church. While he studied medicine with the renowned physician Euphrosinos, under the patronage of Euphrosinos he became physician to the Emperor Maximian or Galerius. He was won back to Christianity by St. Hermolaus, who convinced him that Christ was the better physician, signaling the significance of the exemplum of Pantaleon that faith is to be trusted over medical advice, marking the direction European medicine was to take until the 16th century. Saint Alphonsus Liguori wrote regarding this incident, "He studied medicine with such success that the Emperor Maximian appointed him his physician. One day as our saint was discoursing with a holy priest named Hermolaus, the latter, after praising the study of medicine, concluded thus: 'But, my friend, of what use are all thy acquirements in this art, since thou art ignorant of the science of salvation?' By miraculously healing a blind man by invoking the name of Jesus over him, Pantaleon converted his father, upon whose death he came into possession of a large fortune, but freed his slaves and, distributing his wealth among the poor, developed a great reputation in Nicomedia. Envious colleagues denounced him to the emperor during the Diocletian persecution. The emperor wished to save him and sought to persuade him to apostasy. Pantaleon, however, openly confessed his faith, and as proof that Christ is the true God, he healed a paralytic. Notwithstanding this, he was condemned to death by the emperor, who regarded the miracle as an exhibition of magic. According to the later hagiography, Pantaleon's flesh was first burned with torches, whereupon Christ appeared to all in the form of Hermolaus to strengthen and heal Pantaleon. The torches were extinguished. Then a bath of molten lead was prepared. When the apparition of Christ stepped into the cauldron with him, the fire went out and the lead became cold. Pantaleon was now thrown into the sea, loaded with a great stone, which floated. He was thrown to wild beasts, but these fawned upon him and could not be forced away until he had blessed them. He was bound on the wheel, but the rope snapped, and the wheel broke. An attempt was made to behead him, but the sword bent, and the executioners were converted to Christianity. Pantaleon implored heaven to forgive them, for which reason he also received the name of Pantalaimon. It was not until he himself desired it that it was possible to behead him, upon which there issued forth blood and a white liquid like milk. Saint Alphonsus wrote, "At Ravello, a city in the kingdom of Naples, there is a vial of his blood, which becomes blood every year, and may be seen in this state interspersed with the milk, as the author of this work have seen it." Early veneration. The vitae containing these miraculous features are all late in date and valueless, according to the Catholic Encyclopedia, yet the fact of his martyrdom itself seems to be supported by veneration for which there is testimony in the 5th century, among others in a sermon on the martyrs by Theodore Procopius of Caesarea, writing on the churches and shrines constructed by Justinian I, tells that the emperor rebuilt the shrine to Pantaleon at Nicomedia, and there is mention of Pantaleon in the Martyrologium Hieronymianum. Veneration in the East. The Eastern tradition concerning Pantaleon follows more or less the medieval Western hagiography, but lacks any mention of a visible apparition of Christ. It states instead that Hermolaus was still alive while Pantaleon's torture was underway. but was martyred himself only shortly before Pantaleon's beheading along with two companions, Hermippus and Thermocrates. The saint is canonically depicted as a beardless young man with a full head of curly hair. Pantaleon's relics, venerated at Nicomedia, were transferred to Constantinople. Numerous churches, shrines, and monasteries have been named for him, in the West most often as St. Pantaleon and in the East as Saint Pantaleon. To him is consecrated the St. Pantaleon Monastery at Mount Athos and the 12th century Church of St. Pantaleon in Gorno-Nerezi, in the Republic of Macedonia. Armenians believe that the Gansizar monastery in Nagorno-Karabakh contains relics of Saint Pantaleon, who was venerated in eastern provinces of Armenia. Veneration in Western Europe. At the Basilica of the Vierzen Heiligen near Staffelstein in Franconia Street, Pantaleon is venerated with his hands nailed to his head, reflecting another legend about his death. After the Black Death of the mid-14th century in Western Europe, as a patron saint of physicians and midwives, he came to be regarded as one of the 14 guardian martyrs, the 14 holy helpers. Relics of the saint are to be found at St. Denis at Paris. His head is venerated at Lyon. A Romanesque church was dedicated to him in Cologne in the 9th century at latest, England. In the British Library there is a surviving manuscript, written in Saxon Old English, of the life of St. Pantaleon, dating from the early 11th century, possibly written for Abbot Alfric of Ensham, France. In France, he was depicted in a window in Chartres Cathedral. In southern France there are 6 communes under the protective name of St. Pantaleon. Though there are individual churches consecrated to him elsewhere, there are no communes named for him in the north and northwest of France. The 6 are St. Pantaleon in the Lot département, Midi-Pyrénées; St. Pantaleon in the Vaucluse département, Provence, a wine-growing village; St. Pantaleon de la Clos in the Corrèze département, Limousin; St. Pantaleon de Large in the Corrèze département, at the border of Périgord and Quercy; St. Pantaleon les Vignes in the Drôme département, Rhône-Alpes, a wine-growing village that is part of the Côtes du Rhône vineyard region; St. Pantaleon in the Saône-et-Loire département, Bourgogne, administratively linked to Autun bishopric c. Germany. In Cologne, a 10th century Romanesque church, partly built by the daughter of the Byzantine Emperor Theophanu, who married the Holy Roman Emperor Otto II in 972. St. Pantaleon in Cologne, Italy. In Italy, Pantaleon gives favorable lottery numbers, victories and winners in dreams. A phial containing some of his blood was long preserved at Ravello. On the feast day of the saint, the blood was said to become fluid and to bubble. Paolo Verone's painting of Pantaleon can be found in the Church of San Pantaleon in Venice. It shows the saint healing a child. Another painting of Pantaleon by Fumiani is also in the same church. He was depicted in an 8th century fresco in Santa Maria Antiqua in Rome, and in a 10th century cycle of pictures in the crypt of San Crisogono in Rome. In Calabria, there is a small town named Papanus, after Pantaleon. Each year on his feast day, a statue of the saint is carried through the town to give a blessing for all those who seek it. San Pantaleone Pantaleon was a popular saint in Venice, and he therefore gave his name to a character in the Commedia dell'arte, Pantaleon, a silly, wizened old man who was a caricature of Venetians. This character was portrayed as wearing trousers rather than knee breech, and so became the origin of the name of a type of trouser called pantaloons, which was later shortened to pants. Upon him, Portuguese explorer Bartolomeu Dias, first European known to have sailed around the Cape of Good Hope, took a ship named São Pantaleon on that expedition. The Russian battleship Potemkin was renamed Pantaleon after her recovery after the mutiny of 1905. St. Pantaleon is the eponym of the character Pantaleon in Philip Pullman's His Dark Materials series of novels.